I do think that he's stupid enough to just look at what is in front of him at that given moment and make a decision based on that.
Not to mention, I'm pretty sure she had green teeth.
What? What are you talking about?
She had green teeth.
I didn't notice. I'll have to go back.
No, I heard you say that, but what are you talking about?
What do you mean? You need me to explain further?
Green teeth?
Green.
Hey, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of Another Bachelor Podcast. Hey, my name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
And that's Patrick behind the glass over there.
Hey, guys.
Patrick, the Irish bug hickey.
Don't interrupt me, Dylan.
Hey, guys. Well, before we get into the show, just want to say thank you again. Facebook group, you guys are wonderful, and we love talking to you there. Ratings and reviews, you guys have been wonderful, and we seriously cannot thank you guys enough for the support. Enough of all that stuff.
No, not yet. Hold on.
Yep,
I know you guys always tell me that we lose listeners if we go on with this.
We have told you that so many times.
But hold on. This is very important.
Please be quick.
I am making a formal announcement that this week we are not in jeopardy of shutting down the group. Okay?
That is a relief.
That being said, next week I'm implementing a lottery system. I will be pulling the name of a member from the Facebook group out of a hat. And if your name is chosen, you are being thrown out of the group.
That's pretty fun, actually.
That's a lot of fun.
Now, hear me out.
Pat, I don't say this often, but that's a great idea.
Now, once your name is called, you'll have 24 hours to message me directly. To make your case why you should be allowed back in the group.
Okay.
The message should contain some accolades about me and the show, and also some groveling.
Pat, you talk too much. I like the kicking people out. I don't like the groveling. I don't like the messages of adoration to you. And now we've taken too long.
I don't want to do it, but as a leader, I have to make tough decisions.
Since you'll be doing this kind of behind closed doors, pulling the name out, if it happens to be one of the more active members of the group, maybe we pull a second name.
Yeah.
We can't have Adam Gleitch or Haley Whittle.
Yeah, can't toss
out.
Haley out of the group.
Anyone's name. Fear's a great motivator.
All right, hey, we are 1 week away from hometowns. It is time to make the final cuts. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the season, and some would say that we're already there. We are in the beautiful land of Italy. Everybody's excited about the beauty and the history and the wine, the pizza.
There were some beautiful views of Tuscany.
Everyone is excited except for Lauren B. because nothing can move that pulse.
Hey, if you're not happy where you are, get the fuck out of here.
Well, I wish she would, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Somehow, she has progressed. Anyways, like you mentioned, old dickface Harrison shows up and gives us the rundown.
Wait. We give a lot of shit to Chris Harrison, but let me tell you a little something about Chris Harrison. All right, this past weekend, he was at Pebble Beach, participating in the ATT Pro-Am, partnered with Jason Day, makes the Sunday cut on Saturday, and what does he do? He flies back to L.A. on Saturday to take his daughter to the father-daughter dance, flies back up to Pebble Beach to play in the game on Sunday. So you can talk a lot of shit about Chris Harrison, but that man is a family man, and he is dedicated. His daughter gets his final rose.
He may be a family man, but I can guarantee you that his favorite part about that entire scenario were the whores he had on his private flights.
That was definitely probably part of it. And I'm sure those whores love a top 10 finisher, by the way, of the ATT Pro.
Hey, Nick, how'd you hear this story about it?
I follow him on Instagram.
That could be the other part. The whores and you, people like you, getting suckered into his story.
Motives. Well, he says, listen, guys, there is a lot weighing on Ari's mind, and he is worried about this entire process. So, have a great week.
He also says he's in
that was terrifying.
He also says, Ari's in a good mood. Oh, thank God he's in a great mood.
Walking on eggshells around Ari so we don't set him off.
Jackie Gleason. To the moon.
Why I oughta.
Hey, so, Jacqueline. There's a through line with her for the first half of this episode that is confounding. Okay? She's got a little clap scene at the top that's usually reserved for Jasmine, you know? I don't want to say people like Jasmine because that would be extremely racist.
Don't you get in my face right now, you bitch!
But she says, I don't know if I'm going to fall in love or if I'm falling in love with falling in love. And she's very concerned with all this.
Can I interpret female into English?
Yeah, go ahead and interpret it.
I think what she was saying is I'm getting all caught up in this stupid show, and I'm feeling like a dummy right now.
Exactly. Hey, do you guys want to get to this first one-on-one?
Oh, yeah.
Becca?
Rebecca!
Ciao, Bella.
I thought that she's just been a wounded horse this entire show.
How so?
You love her. He says at the beginning of this date, like, I haven't felt romance with you in a while, which is true. I don't know why you think that she's like the grand poobah of this competition, but they have a fine date.
She makes me miss home. She's got that lovely Minnesota accent, and she just seems like a sweet, kind-hearted, fun girl.
It's a quiet day. They go around and eat stray bread and generally just struggle to speak Italian to various merchants. But they sit down for this picnic, and she immediately launches into this, like, assuaging his insecurities. Like, I want to let you know that I really, really like you. I don't want you to be worried that I don't like you and don't think that I don't.
And the way he did that is he said, if I go to your hometown, who the fuck am I going to meet there? And she lists, Uncle Gary, her stepdad.
Those were the most Midwest names of all time. Uncle Gary and boyfriend Tim. Tim and Gary. I know 50 Tim and Garys from back home.
I've never even come close to that frozen dump. So I don't know too many of those people.
Can I say something? As you know, I'm an investigative journalist, aside from being a Uber driver and doing this podcast.
And you don't drive Uber.
He does not drive for Uber.
Okay, so listen to this. I was listening to Juicy Scoop.
Why do you say that you drive for Uber? It's not a badge of honor. It's very strange that you've built that character for yourself on this here show.
I think endearing.
I think he's trying to be the everyman to our listeners.
Okay, you better cut that out. I actually want the audience to think I drive Uber.
You were saying?
Oh, yeah. So I was listening to Juicy Scoop, and she pulled up this scoop where the ex-girlfriend came out in the news again. It was saying Ari doesn't know how to talk to people.
Right.
And as she dated him, she found whenever he was confused or bored, he'd stop the conversation and just stick his tongue down your throat. There's a lot of that happening here.
I saw a great meme online. It was Ari gets pulled over by a cop. The cop's like, do you know why I pulled you over? Ari sticks his tongue down his throat. It is his solution to everything.
No, I mean, he really does it. Before we get into the night date, this episode's structured a little strangely. A lot of Jacqueline at the top. She is just talking out of her ass. She's talking about how she doesn't know if she can cope with the prospect of dating Ari. And I completely understand that fear because that's a horrific future. But don't assume that you're going to be the one that gets the engagement ring at the end of this.
Dylan, I'm glad you're mentioning that. I have a clip of this. Can I play a clip?
Hit us with it.
Go ahead and hit us with it.
And I'm worried that I'm going to end up in Scottsdale with you married and wonder how did I get here? This, we didn't have the base or the foundation.
You understand it doesn't have to happen right away, right?
You cocky bitch. Where the fuck does she get the gall to think she's fucking going home?
Yeah, let's jump off that bridge when we get there. Assuming only makes an ass out of you
and me.
That was very presumptuous of her.
Yeah.
But I did think just that line was hilarious. She's like, what if I wake up in Scottsdale one day and I want to fucking hang myself?
Yeah. You would go through with it. I'm almost convinced. The heat is very it's very heavy there. Can we get into the night date?
Sure.
Red flag right out of the gate. They start to talk about hometowns, and Becca says that she had a 7-year boyfriend that was never really, quote, introduced to the parents.
when she discussed that 7-year relationship before, she kind of tiptoed around the fact that this guy she was dating was a piece of shit, and she finally was able.
7 years.
She was
with
finally
a piece of shit.
Yeah, she finally was able to break his
How
grip.
come? Very weird.
Some of these piece of shits have quite the attraction. Patrick was able to marry his girl.
Look, dude, I've never gone longer than 6 months without meeting. I'm a serious piece of shit, and chicks usually bring me around after 6 months.
They bring you around after 6 months?
That's right.
What is it? What do you mean?
Oh, hey, this is a guy I've been dating, Dad.
Oh,
and then I'm
God, I wish I could go back in time and just see, like that episode of freaking Black Mirror, and just see all of the interactions that you've had with various people's fathers, various women's fathers. Anyways, getting off track. Me and you disagree on this. I don't think he's that into her, but alas, he gives her the rose.
And she...
Counterpoint?
He gave her the rose. He seems very happy when he's with her. There seems to be, I don't know, she genuinely seems to make him happy. But she even bumped up a couple more points in my book when she got that rose because she nailed it. She was ecstatic. She finally put that first C in there, and I loved it.
To describe his feelings, he finally used another word. He said it was incredible instead of amazing.
We're all growing.
Speaking of amazing, Patrick, I'm cooking up a little something that you'll be able to check out on our social medias. It's what I consider my opus.
Yeah.
It's going to be a supercut of Ari saying, "I like that, I love that, and it's amazing."
Homer had his, you will have yours.
So look out for that.
Hey, do you guys want to go on to this one-on-one with Lauren?
Boring, Lauren.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Dude, how have I not heard that yet?
That's
I love
really,
that.
really great, but I got ahead of myself. Let's just talk about the card getting dropped. Because that's going to bleed into Jacqueline actually going into his hotel room. When it is announced that Lauren will get the card, the girls are a little spooked because she's gotten 2 back-to-back one-on-ones. Becca says that this is unbelievable, and I agree with her that it is unbelievable because, to quote the late Don Rickles, she has the personality of a dead moth. What would motivate somebody to go and spend more time with a human being like this?
Especially after how that first date was portrayed as like
awful.
But Patrick is not the only one that does a little investigative journalism. I may have spoken to some sources that said the reason that date was shown that way is because all they did the entire time was make out.
Right.
They constantly had their tongue down each other's throats, and they didn't want to do that. So instead, they painted this picture like there was no conversation happening.
Because I have a note later. I just want to talk to a producer. I'm more fascinated about this relationship than any on this show in a long time. This is so confusing to me that she is continuing on in this competition, but getting ahead of myself.
Your hunch is right. I think it's largely based on lust.
Right. Let's talk about her, and by her I mean Jacqueline. I know her is very vague when there are 6 women we're talking about. Jacqueline goes to the hotel. This is a maze of lunacy that we need to unpack.
Mole, 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 mole.
What? Why?
Did you see that gigantic thing east of that left eyeball? Jesus Christ, has she been hiding that for the last 8 episodes? I could not. That captivated me.
Is it west?
I wanted to just fucking squeeze it.
It was more prominent today. But
when she first knocked on that hotel room door and he opened it, did you guys catch the creepy look on his face? He was like, hey!
Yeah, he was excited to see her.
He thought he was about to get laid.
No, dude. All right, so I'm glad you brought that up. I have a question about that because I forgot about it.
Yeah.
So she randomly goes to his hotel room. Somehow she knows where to go to knock on the door. Okay. Does production give him a heads up that one of the girls is going to be stopping by for a visit? Because the man has spent all day drinking wine, eating God knows what. And I've experienced this in my lifetime where I can't wait to get a few minutes away. So, because I've been holding in a toot for the last 3 hours. And can you imagine if one of these broads walks up and he just blew out the bathroom? Like, It's happened to me several times. You got to give a heads up to the Bachelor so that he's not embarrassed.
I'm sure they do. Like you need to be put together. Somebody's coming to your room. You can't have your basketball shorts at your ankles, masturbating in the middle of the living room.
I think Patrick might be onto something. Maybe Jacqueline went with the intent of just getting some reassurance, but she walked in there. It smelled like a bomb just went off, and she's like, never mind, I'm going home.
Okay. All joking aside, let's unpack this crazy. She tells him that she's not confident enough in their relationship to think that she can go to hometowns. But then she says that the date that they went on was so amazing that it makes her want to cry, but that she has swirling doubts about them. This conversation ping-pongs back and forth, accomplishing nothing.
I have a hot take.
Hot take.
Okay, was this a play for Bachelorette, which we all know
No,
would never
Patrick,
happen? No,
no.
we all know it would never happen.
No.
But does she think I'm going to leave and the audience is going to love me because I left? Him maybe having mixed feelings about her leaving?
I think it's just a dramatic play to have a final good look. I think it does work. I mean, she leaves on her own terms. Nick?
I, again, did a little digging.
Okay.
May have spoken to some sources.
Pat, you better watch out. Nick's fucking nipping at your heels.
That said maybe the reason that she left is because she was in danger of losing her job.
I was gonna say.
So she had to go home for that reason, and then once again, production spins their magics and makes this dramatic
They got magics, baby.
Peter-esque lack of commitment from her.
Nick, where'd you get this goddamn hot take,
Don't
man?
you dare question his
No,
sources.
I just want to know
You've
his source.
ripped headlines from the National Enquirer as though they were fucking nonfiction on this show.
I'm not going to lie to you. It was on a Reddit post from someone who said their friend's husband works on the show.
Okay, so
it's a
anyways,
lock. Is what I'm telling you. It's an airtight source.
I was thinking that it would be weird for her at medical school had she just been dumped like she was going to, or possibly not. I'm still confused about whether or not he liked her. But I do have to say, when this aired, it was the same night as the Winter Olympics. I'm a huge fan of snow sports, and more specifically Shaun White. And I know it was just qualifying, but I wanted to see what he had in his bag of tricks, And so me and my darling fiance Cece, we were skipping back and forth. Those liars at NBC were like, Shaun White's coming up right after the break. Not true. So anyways, we're trying to time this out, and I flipped over to The Bachelor and was like a siren call of stupidity sucked into this fucking conversation because they would reach these points where I'm like, okay, now it's over and she's going to leave. And she's like, but I find you so attractive. And they would just start making out and have the same conversation about the same thing again. Sure enough, I miss Shaun White.
Classic
us.
I think a huge power move that she could have pulled was just been like, before I leave, let's fuck.
I like that.
And she just leaves that.
What are you saying?
I think that would have been dope.
Here's a question. Do you think a little part of her was thinking like he's going to say, I need you to stay? All he said was, hey, let's wait it out to the end of the week. Who knows what will happen?
Oh, and what an empty gesture at the end. If you ever have any doubts, come back to me. No, that's not true. What, is she going to come back during the hometowns or after, and you're going to have her back?
Yeah, listen to this fucking liar. He told that single mother, Chelsea, the week before he dumped her, I wouldn't keep you around if I didn't think that something could happen. Next week, she's in Paris. See ya.
Again, I'm very confused about whether or not he did have feelings for her, because in my mind, agree or disagree, one person cannot be attracted to both Lauren B. and Jacqueline. They're two complete, it just can't happen.
You know what? Let's do some Get Out bullshit, man. Let's take Jacqueline's brain put it in her fucking Lauren's body.
We've said this before, logistically impossible. Again, good move by her. She was not going to get picked, I don't think, or worse, she was going to move to Arizona.
Dylan, I have a new segment. It's called Moron of the Week.
Charlemagne already has Donkey of the Day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, all right, then I'm going to call it Moron Moment of the Week. Change it up a little.
What's this, Pat?
Okay, all right. I have, it's when Jacqueline left, it's what Ari said. Can I play a clip?
Sure.
Yes.
I'll play a clip.
Last night, the breakup with Jacqueline was heartbreaking for me. what Jacqueline did was very brave.
Brave. Do you think what she did was brave, gentlemen?
I haven't seen this type of bravery since Caitlyn Jenner.
And I haven't seen
Let us not sully the memory and the actions of World War II veterans that marched the beaches of Normandy under fire from those Nazis.
Yep.
Can you imagine telling one of those World War II veterans today, hey, I got someone else who's brave. Come on over here. Oh, yeah? What'd she do? She walked up to a hotel room, knocked at the door, and said, the relationship's not going to work out. She's got to go.
I think that you guys are kind of touching upon the same thing with Caitlyn Jenner and with Jacqueline, that the word brave is being misused.
Another huge misuse of it was at the Golden Globes when Allison Janney called Margot Robbie's performance of Tanya Harding brave.
Yeah. If you guys could see Nick's face, he is repulsed.
That really pissed me off.
It pisses me off,
I
too.
hate that movie got popular, but that is neither here nor there.
Let's eliminate the word amazing when things aren't amazing and the word brave when things aren't actually brave.
Let's move on to Lauren B.
Here.
But before we do that, Pat, you want to jump into some iTunes rating and reviews?
Why not, dude?
Let's do it. Harp. Pat!
Dylan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick.
I got to get serious for a second here. I got to get serious. Okay. I'm going to make a retraction. I'm going to have a retraction statement that I'm going to read. All right. So you guys need to be quiet.
I know what this might be about.
Okay. I would like to start this iTunes review by stating that last week I was given some erroneous information about a 1-star review. As you know, I had to cancel the jacuzzi party because of one bad apple. It has come to my attention that now I know it was not Judith, a.k.a. Judy, that gave us the 1-star review, but Justine. Now, I still kind of think it's Judy's fault because her spelling to Justine, it's very similar. So it's still kind of on her.
Shame on you, Judy.
That being said, an apology is in order. So, Dylan, Nick, apologize.
I did go pretty hard on old Judy there, telling her to be more positive. You're a beacon of light.
Yeah, I went a little hard, if memory serves correctly. Do you have a sound effect that you're playing right now?
No. Judy's actually in the room. Thanks for coming tonight, Judy.
Please
to be
don't.
here in person, I really appreciate it. So I am going to read Judy's review. Again, I'm sorry, Judy. Here we go. Extremely offensive is in the title. 5 stars. But that's okay, because it's comedy. They did manage to get a hard-hitting interview with DeMario, who did not rape anyone. That's true. He did not rape anyone.
Pat, cut the sex noises out and just read her review.
Can I keep the vibrator noise in?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. When did you guys become pussies? Extremely offensive. 5 stars. And then she says, but that's okay because it's comedy, which is true. It is comedy.
It's a funny turn.
They did manage to get a hard-hitting interview with DeMario, she's talking about us, who did not rape anyone. It is good to know, after feeling traumatized last summer by allegations of sexual assault, that DeMario is not to blame. Corinne is not to blame. Racism is completely to blame. So nice to have that cleared up from the youth mentor who brags about threesomes, walking around high in Disneyland.
Thank you.
And getting women offered to play the role of Corinne in a fantasy-inspired rape allegation.
Okay, a little harsh
I
there.
enjoy this podcast as a psychological study of the millennial male mind. Did find some common ground with them. And then there's a bunch of hashtags. Oh, hashtag no more single mothers or fathers on The Bachelor.
That's a great hashtag. Judy, we love you. Thank you so much for the review. I do take umbrage with one thing. While me and Nick are millennials, Patrick is quickly approaching the age where he would get an AARP card.
She did use that term very, very loosely. It does not apply to all of us. I feel like I'm even on the border. I'm freaking 30.
You're one of us, man.
I feel like this is a perfect time while we're doing retractions. I've been wanting to do this for a couple weeks and keep forgetting. I got upset with you, Patrick, for comparing rural Arkansas to rural Wisconsin and said they are thousands and thousands of miles apart. Wiener to Wisconsin is actually only 687 miles, so a lot closer than I thought.
I've been waiting for that all week, Nick. Thank you. That means a lot that you would do that. Appreciate it.
I've had to get it off my chest. I'm sorry.
Hey,
we're fair here.
For the iTunes ratings and reviews.
Harp!
All right, Lauren B, one-on-one. She claims that she has broken down a lot of walls with Ari. which is a very confusing statement because to me, the only thing that I know about her is that she is blonde, IQ about 65, and that her name is Lauren. Those are the only things that I know about her.
She's a fucking moron.
What walls are we talking about? Speaking of me being harsh about her intelligence, can we talk about this very Italian line?
Actually, I believe Patrick might have a clip.
I have the second moron moment of the night. Can I play a clip?
Yeah, sure.
Can I play a clip?
Yeah.
It's my segment.
Very Italian.
Yeah. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Now, she says very Italian. It should be like a sarcastic and humorous thing. And I think that he thinks that she's saying it with that intention. He responds in kind. She does not respond back in kind, which is horrific because it implies that she earnestly described their surroundings as very Italian.
I feel like they're fucking perfect for each other because just like she thinks Italy is Italian, excitement excites him, and they may ride off into the sunset together.
Yeah.
The only way a line like that would have actually made any sense and would be if there was like a bunch of like mafia guys around and like sticking guns in each other's faces.
Right, but
and
still you would use it humorously.
And they have
absolutely, that's my point.
and they have Adidas like wind pants on, and
yeah.
hey,
Lots of gold.
Yeah,
A guy named Paulie.
They just walk around and don't talk to each other. That's the date.
he also was peacocking a little bit on those bicycles, showing off some tricks, standing on the seat. I was pretty impressed.
Not me. Not me. Because he actually makes like he's going to stand up. I will go back and find that position on a BMX bike.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let your hands go, throw them out to a T, and ride, and let the steering wheel guide you. That pussy, they actually kind of cut out of it like he did. Then he tried to do a second one.
Could you imagine how horrifically wrong that date could have gone if he attempted to pull that off and wrecked hard?
That could have ruined the whole season of The Bachelor. That would have been funny as shit.
I have an incredible equilibrium. I was a race car driver. I don't have a ton to say about the date portion of this because there's just not a ton to talk about. They eat pizza and they play with little street urchins.
They did kick the little footy around.
Yeah,
or how do you say that? Say it.
In Italian, it's we kick the footy around.
Yeah, there's the Italian accent.
So before we get into the night date, can we talk about? You guys know I don't ask you to pull a lot of clips. Mm-hmm. But I thought this clip was very, very important because I'd like to make a case that this is the most insecure bachelor that we've ever had. Usually these people are head cases and they grow more confident in their position as the bachelor or the bachelorette. This man is constantly fishing and begging for girls to assure him that they are attracted to him. Kendall has a discussion with the girls about the 36-year-old child that they are dealing with. Pat, do you have that clip?
Oh, I got a clip. Want to play a clip?
Yeah.
There's a clip.
Ari told me that his fear was that at the end of all of this, the person he chose would feel the same way. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like every single choice that I've made so far has been geared towards him not being hurt in that way. You know, and I wouldn't choose to go forward unless I genuinely felt like I would have a connection with him.
The feelings aren't only like him giving each of us the rose and hoping that we accept. It's like we have to give those feelings back to him. Yeah.
Validate me. Validate me.
Seriously.
It's too much, Ari.
It's a move of a love addict. They don't care about the damage that they do to other people. Their whole mission is to get love and do anything they can to extract love and attention from them.
Interesting
well,
take.
I think I'm right on the fucking money, dude.
Yeah,
this scumbag has been chasing, trolling for pussy for the last. Come on, he's 36, man.
Hey, so can we get into this night date? And before before we get into the proceedings, I want to ask you guys: do you think that she likes him?
Yes.
You do.
I do.
Pat?
I think she's dumbfounded.
Dumb or dumbfounded?
Both. I don't think she knows. The world is spinning. I don't think she knows how she got on this fucking show. I don't think she understands why she's still here. I I think what does she do for a living?
I have no idea, but you touched on something. I think that she's confused about why she's still there. But we're dancing around it. Let's get into it. They toast to breaking down walls again. The amount of wall breaking and being open with one another between these two is infuriating. The weirdest fucking thing ever. She tells him that she's falling for him.
Can you guys excuse me for a second?
He's doing a bit where, you know how Ari walked away?
Oh.
You see how he just walked?
Oh, yeah, he laughed.
He walked out of the studio.
Oh, is he going to walk into the woods that are very well lit while he contemplates God knows what?
I can see him out the window. He's just pacing, and now he's looking at the ceiling.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, he's back.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
I just want to tell you guys how excited I am for the future of this show. And I'm really excited to continue this relationship.
It is that bizarre. Like, he leaves, and finally we learn something about Lauren, because when he comes back, she says that she's really good at reading people. And she could tell that when he got up and
I don't think she can read, period.
When he got up and walked away, she could tell something was off.
Hey, Sherlock, what tipped you off?
I want to talk to a producer so badly about these two, because when someone says they're falling in love with you and you walk away, generally speaking, the next thing that is said is not, let's meet the folks. Usually it's something way, way sadder.
I want to say what he did here was something that a chick would do. I'm okay with a bachelorette doing this. She's overwhelmed with feelings. This is not... Wait. Dylan, please. Men and women are a little different here.
They are.
Stop being a puss. Men should not walk away and leave a woman who just laid her feelings out on the table.
Rude.
It's fucking rude, and you can destroy a woman's soul that way.
Yeah.
By him doing that, he held her fucking hostage emotionally for... God knows how long. We saw it lasted forever for us.
Why did he do that?
Because this guy is I always say, an intellectual lightweight. We've seen this. He's not good on his feet. He does not think well on his feet. He rehearsed this earlier. He knew this was going to be a big moment. This was going to pull all the female viewership in. Look at him. He's overwhelmed with her. What's the first thing he says when he gets back to that table?
You know what? Let me put out a hot take. I think that the producers told him to keep her around. Because what was the most dramatic moment of this episode?
Jacqueline leaving?
No.
The decision between Tia and Becca.
The decision between Becca and Tia. And, maybe I'm donning a tinfoil hat, but a couple things have to fall in place in order for that drama to occur.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Why he doesn't keep Cien around and let Lauren go is beyond me. I cannot understand it. But the rose has to go to either Lauren or Cien in order for this to happen between Becca and Tia.
Dylan, I'm 100% behind you on that. However, this is the first girl that he says he's falling so deeply in love with.
It's so unbelievable that he... again, to boil it down to a simpler... but then he wouldn't have walked away like that. I just think he wants to fuck her.
He said he hasn't felt this way in a long time. I don't know.
Blows me away.
All right, she's my front runner, quite honestly, because all he's ever said to the other chicks is, I got a crush on you.
Well, it's confusing because he genuinely looks like he has incredible relationships with some of the girls. Like him and Becca, I think they had really great chemistry. Tia... even that boring bozo from Minnesota or Wisconsin, the other Becca, him and Lauren are just it's like watching two pieces of plaster talk to one another.
Dylan, can I ask you this? You say you see great chemistry. What are you seeing that says great chemistry between, say, Rebecca and him? Rebecca! Making out with everyone? He does that with everyone. That's his problem.
Okay. Here's a box you can check. Talking to one another. There's one. A lack of long, awkward pauses. There's another. I guess it's tied to talking to one another, though. So let me get back to you, but I've got that one. He gives her the rose, and she says that if things keep going this way, she may fall even more in love with him. But we'll have to see.
Abso-frickin-lutely.
Do you guys want to get into the CN one-on-one?
Oh, I'd love to.
Before we do you want to take a break to hear a word from our sponsors?
Someone's paying for this fucking show.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah, Dill.
Did you know that this episode today is sponsored by no one? Not a single company.
What?
You're slacking, dude.
You should know this because you are in charge of the production of this podcast and the ad revenue.
Look, dude, do you know how hard it is to find sponsors for this? How offensive this show is? Like, no one likes you guys.
No one likes us.
We couldn't have got...
No one likes us. Maybe you should go to these meetings with a suit on and not this stupid white T-shirt. You look like an outsider with that barbed wire tattoo.
That's one of my favorite films. Don't piss me off, Dylan.
All right, well...
Ralph Macchio, he was very handsome.
It was a hell of a cast.
Dude, in that scene where the guy gets stabbed or drowned simultaneously, who knew what? You just see the blood in the water.
The first week Dylan and I worked together, I told him, you stay gold, pony boy. You stay gold.
Listen, this podcast might as well be sponsored by the Outsiders. We don't have a freaking sponsor. So I would like you to look inward, really focus up, and try and get us some money flowing into this puppy.
Nature's first green is gold. Her heart is he to hold. It's Robert Frost.
CN, the most wonderful person in this entire competition, has to suffer through a one-on-one date with Ari Leonard. But it's a fun day. They go truffle hunting.
We meet Julio, the truffle hunter. Move over, Dog the Bounty Hunter. I think we've got a new series on our hands. I would watch Julio, the truffle hunter.
That's actually not a bad idea. And
we just got to give him a short, big-tittied wife, and he'll be off to the races.
Yeah, like Barb? Beth, sorry. One of the things that you could inject into this show is a very, very real-life drama. You know these adorable little dogs he's got trancing around? Commonly poisoned by other truffle hunters. That's not a joke.
Wow, I didn't know the seedy underbellies of the truffle hunting world.
Those truffles are ludicrously expensive, and those
$400 an ounce. Dude.
Those dogs are very difficult to train. It's tough to get a good truffle hunting pooch. They poison them all the time.
Hey, I want to say this about the truffle hunt. If at $400 an ounce, and it was looking like they were pulling ounces out of the ground every 4 seconds.
Fat truffles.
I want to say there was some producers out there early in the morning.
Pat,
that morning.
I don't think so, man. I'm telling you, these dogs are prized possessions. It's tough to teach one how to do that.
These truffle hunting pooches.
Hey, we go to a family lunch where she is subsequently grilled by that entire family about, I don't know, their relationship. And they eat some beautifully cooked pasta with truffles shaved all over it. Like, that meal would cost so much fucking money.
It was a wonderful family. Did you catch, they were cooking pizza there, too. Did you catch when Ari had to throw in there that, hey, I worked at a pizza place once?
Yeah, by the way, it's called Pizza Hut, and it sucks. If you're ever cooking with a family who has generations of artisanal cooking...
Oh, God, you see that pizza oven? That thing looks like it's 500 years old.
Please do not bring up your high school part-time job where you're fucking spinning dough at a Pizza Hut. It does not compare.
Yeah, it's not a way to find common ground. Just shut your mouth. Let's move on to the night date. He said that he was happy that he finally got to see her in a familial setting. Mm-hmm. I took issue with that because that was not her family. That was a table of strangers. It's not a family setting. They seem to have a fine conversation, but his mind is made up. She's too beautiful, she's too intelligent, and too overall a great person to keep in this competition.
All right, I know I'm going to talk about her aesthetic for a second. She had great hair, great teeth, great clothing selection. Yeah. Whatever she was wearing, I'd never seen before. Look, I've been around the world a few times. I never seen what she was wearing. It was like a button-down thing in the front that revealed like her boobs, her breasts, her belly button. It was super hot.
She is beautiful. And
her boobs and her breasts, huh?
And an under-the-radar badonkadonk on that CN. She's got quite the booty.
Okay, so he claims that he's struggling to find that quote-unquote deep emotion that he's found with the other girls. One of them being Lauren, which, I'm sorry, but that just seems like a lie. If you are right, and they are cutting in these awkward silences because they cannot show them making out with one another, either scenario, they do not have a deep emotional connection. He's a fucking liar, and I don't know why he's sending CN home. It makes me upset.
I can tell you why. He's completely intimidated by her.
Yeah.
She is way too smart for him. She will see through him 2 weeks after. If he let her win, 2 weeks later, she'll be like talking to the press going, I can't believe I went home with this idiot.
Maybe we're honing in on something. I mean, him being insecure, I think that he is concerned with certain cast members. He knows that it's not going to work out because he's too stupid and too boring. So he has to pick somebody dumb like Lauren or quirky and psychotic like Kendall, who we'll get to, but she essentially said, I will move to Arizona if you propose to me. He can't be with a doctor or somebody who has a future ahead of them because he is going to attach an anchor to the heel of whoever he chooses.
That being said, Dylan, it broke my heart to see CN cry. I hate to see beautiful, intelligent, quality chicks fall under the spell of stupid guys. This happened in high school quite a bit.
Right.
I always felt really bad. I hated to see that.
Yeah, I did not want to see tears from CN either. She stayed pretty strong.
Yeah, she did.
At the end of the day, CN, you got to realize you're like that famous scene in The Matrix. You dodge bullets.
Right.
All right. You don't want to end up with this man.
Yeah, of course. And the thing that made me really, really upset, she held it together. She got in the car and cried a little bit, but she said that's something I've learned about myself is that I'm just not able to express my emotions and my feelings well enough. That is not true. That is the wrong thing to learn from this experience. Learn nothing other than you are wonderful. And, like Nick said, you dodged a major bullet. I'm talking like a 50 cal.
I was DMing with her on the Another Bachelor Podcast Instagram, and she actually liked our story. And she says once her contract's up, she'll come in the studio.
Well, that would be great to have her.
Love her seeing here. Don't want to see her on Paradise. Sweetie, move along. Go into your career.
All right,
have a wonderful
sweetie.
life.
She is going to be on Paradise. She posted on Monday night a picture on her Instagram that said, "This is just the beginning. We will see her in Paradise, I believe."
Well,
Damn it!
That's sad. Group date, Villa Royale. I don't want to come across as too misogynistic or chauvinistic, but I think Becca might have lost this contest because of this outfit that she wore.
She looked like the whore daughter of a fucking pirate.
She looked like a butter churner.
She looked like a peasant.
But seriously, though,
She looked like she serves grog.
She looks like Elf on the Shelf.
I do think that she's stupid enough. Excuse me. I do think that he's stupid enough to, just look at what is in front of him at that given moment and make a decision based on that.
Not to mention, I'm pretty sure she had green teeth.
What? What are you talking about?
She had green teeth.
I didn't notice. I'll have to go back.
No,
and
I
look
heard
at
you say that, but what are you talking about?
What do you mean? You need me to explain further?
Green teeth?
Green.
We're going to have a screenshot of that on the Another Bachelor Podcast
Okay,
Instagram
we'll
page.
see if they're green or not. He pulls Kendall aside, and she, we played the clip earlier on in the episode. She knows how to pluck that fiddle. She is giving him everything that he needs to hear. She's groveling over him, and she tells him that it's okay. She'll drop the guillotine on her life if he proposes to her, and that's exactly what he needs to hear. I think she has a really strong shot in this competition.
Dylan, hearing you say this, I like that take. I never thought about this. I knew he was a vapid soul, but I still thought he'd pick someone that he actually was interested in having sex with, because I don't think he wants to have sex with Kendall.
I think he does.
He definitely does.
I think he absolutely does.
Have you seen Kendall?
I think she's beautiful.
And she's got this very sexual energy. Like when they made out at the Eiffel Tower, she grabs his hair and like pulls it.
That's her move. She does it a little bit too often, but she does have this vibe like she could like cut you randomly in the action. You know, she does weird shit like dripping hot wax on you and stuff like that. Stuff I'm not really into, but Ari could.
She's some insurance guy's cute girlfriend.
Okay.
He loves that one.
Tia is the GOAT. Okay? She sucks tonight. She's awful.
Okay, I was going to say.
But we know that rule number 1 is do not talk shit about other contestants. Guess who comes out of this unfucking scathed? Tia. And she doesn't go after Kendall. She doesn't go after Jacqueline. She goes after a series favorite, Becca, and takes her the fuck down.
It really bummed me out to see that from Tia. I kind of think Ari had his mind made up and it was going to be Becca M going home the whole time. And when Tia sat down and told this to Ari, he's like, I don't think we should harp on this. Let's not talk about this. Like, he changed the subject. Yeah. And it bummed me out because Tia's been one of my favorites. And I didn't like seeing her employ this tactic.
Yeah, no, it sucked to see her do that, but I still think she's going to win the competition. Tia is forthright with Becca, and when she tells Becca is devastated.
She cries a black tear.
Yeah.
It was her first tear that fell down came out completely black. I think her heart might be black, or maybe it was mascara.
Stop that. Listen, I love her, and I'm sad that she's gone from the show, though I'm sure we'll see plenty of her and other awful spin-offs of this franchise. But I'll say it again. I do think that he and her had weirdly incredible chemistry. She was too smart for her age, and he's too dumb for his. And I think they met in the middle, and I thought it was perfect.
Let me ask you this question. Okay, so when she did run Ari down to confront him about this, and he kind of played her off, he did make the mistake of sticking his tongue down her throat. That is some major mixed messages there. And he's an asshole for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, he dragged her along the entire time. But I do think that if it doesn't work out with whoever he picks, you guys are right. I think he's going to be hitting her up in a heartbeat.
He'll be DMing her.
Hopefully her clout has raised above the stratosphere at that point, and she doesn't need Ari.
I will say, though, that it's definitely carried over for her, the animosity with Tia. She was on Kimmel after her elimination,
right, and
he asked her if her and Tia have spoken since, and she's like, only under forced circumstances, a.k.a. the women tell-all. They are not on good terms. And she's super close with everyone else. She sleeps over at Kendall's house all the goddamn time.
Well, maybe Kendall doesn't win then, but we'll see. We got a couple episodes left. Night date. Before night date, he gives Kendall the rose, which was a shocking move, and pits Tia and Becca against one another in a final showdown.
Terry.
Night date.
Night date!
It's weird because, like you said, his mind was made up. I thought Becca was an extremely strong competitor, but I didn't think that she stood a chance sitting across from Tia.
Not looking the way she was that day, she didn't.
Green teeth and all.
One more thing about Becca and Ari's interaction.
Yeah.
She says, I think you see me. And he said, I do see you. And she, in a desperate plea to stay, said, there's still more of me to see. Being like, I think she was trying to be like, we could still fuck. Just bring me along one more week.
Oh, you thought she was talking about physicality and
I did.
Emotion.
I did. I think she's like, you keep me around, you're getting lucky.
Well, get your head out of the gutter. She goes home, and it is a sad state of affairs, but I was proud of her. She kept it together. She was cool, calm, and collected until she got in that car and then let the waterworks go. But that's what you got to do. You can't let them see you cry.
It was heartbreaking to see her so shattered.
And that's the end of this episode. We're moving on to hometowns. We got some really fucking boring hometowns coming up.
There are no Dean dads in this group. It doesn't look like.
I cannot tell you how little I am looking forward to seeing Lauren's hometown and Becca's hometown.
And Kendall's sister, who looks exactly like her. I don't know if you caught that in the tease.
No, with Down syndrome, though. Yeah, it was like her twin with Down syndrome.
Let's wrap this episode up. One more time, Nick, tell them where the Instagram is on the internet.
At Another Bachelor Podcast.
And the Facebook group.
At Another Bachelor Podcast.
And the iTunes ratings and reviews.
The Another Bachelor Podcast.
On iTunes. Go there, leave us some reviews. Guys, we're above 100 now. That is absolutely incredible. And again, we cannot thank you enough for the support. Keep it going, and so will we. That is not a threat. We're going to keep going with or without your reviews, but we'd really like them. My name's Dylan, saying goodbye. Nick, please say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, please say goodbye.
I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to send Terry out properly.
Just one of the guys.
You could see him dancing right now. He really loves this song. It's incredible. It is kind of a good song.